I lied to you all. I could do that. It's my channel. I could do what I want to do. This is the top 4 reasons. So, howdy folks, TJ here. Lately I've been making a lot of videos on my nuclear reactor, the MacPro 2013. And I thought I would make a video on the top 3 reasons why you should buy a MacPro 2013 if you don't own one already. Well, not necessarily you have to go out and buy one, but reasons why you may want to buy one. And these are my personal 3 top reasons. Now, this is not scientific. This is all from the heart. So if you're the type that need specific benchmarks on reasons why, this channel is not for you. Although sometimes I'll make videos on frames per second or little things here, but I don't get into the nitty gritty because I don't like math. I can't stand math. I mean, I like 1 + 1 = 2. If you give me $100, I'm perfectly fine. I like the number 100. But yeah, I don't like all that stuff. It's just too mind-boggling. That's why I professionally have a tax guy come over and do my taxes, because I can't stand doing taxes. Who does? Anyway, top 3 reasons. That's what we're going to cover in this video. But let's recap a little bit, because you may be saying, hey, TJ, why am I here at your channel? I have no idea who you are, what you do. Obviously, you know my channel is mostly about vintage computers. And in a nutshell, that's an overused word. I used to use that all the time in the olden days, in a nutshell. But probably a lot of people do. Anyway, 1980, I purchased my first computer, an Atari 800. And for 15 years, I went from Atari 800. For 10 years, I used it until 1990, when I got married, and I also purchased a Mega 2 ST by Atari. And 5 years more, I was an Atarian. So for 15 solid years, I was an Atari user. Originally as a kid, starting out for enjoyment, home use, and then professionally, and I needed to have a computer. So up until 95, I used the hell out of my Ataris. Now I did secretly, well not so secretly, but I did use a Spectre GCR on my Atari, which made it a Mac Plus. Did you know you could do that with an old Atari? So I was a Mac Plus person too. But 95 Ataris and the Commodores were leaving this world, and I needed to professionally have a better computer, and I moved on to Apple and never looked back. I've been an Apple user. I have purchased a lot of Apple computers since 1995, and one of them along the way was about 4 years ago, a MacPro 2013. I had to have a 12-core. I had to have the D700s. I was in the land of cherrydom for a good couple years until my 12-core started fitzing out. And that's what this little guy is. This is my 12-core that's been sitting in the back room for a while because it started having issues. It started having kernel panics. It would boot, but the video would go kapoosh. So about a year and a half ago, I moved on because I have a YouTube channel. I like doing video work, so I purchased an iPad Air 5, and it's fast. And I've been having a great time with it, but oh, my heart's been yearning. I would go in the back room and see this little guy sitting there going, oh, I want to be used. I want to be used. So I went out and purchased this one, a 6-core Mac Pro, in hopes that I will get this working with, and I do have it working, this with a Blackmagic eGPU. I'm going crazy over here in Mac Pro land. But this 12-core hopefully will come back to life. At a minimum, I'm going to try to thermal paste this GPUs and the CPU and see if it brings it back to life. If it doesn't, I'm going to buy either a cheap $200 and some odd Mac Pro and steal the video card from it and stick it in here and see if that works. Something. Either way, I'm going to have 2 eventually. Crazy. Maybe 3, because I'll probably have to buy a 3rd one to fix that one. I don't know. Anyway, so I've been an Apple lover for a long time. I've been to many of the keynotes of Steve Jobs, 2 Steve Jobs keynotes, and sitting there at midnight the night before the event with all the other crazies sitting out in the cold. And I was at the Steve Jobs one where he introduced the iPhone, the very first iPhone. And then I went the year later, too. So I got to enjoy. I just love Apple. Love Apple gear. I know some of you may not. I don't care. And we all have our personal preferences, and I love Apple computers. The Mac Pro 2013 is one of them. So you're here for the top. So that's a little bit, in a nutshell, of why I'm doing these. Did I start this recording? Yeah, apparently I did. I do that a lot. Anyway, top 3 reasons. So I wrote them. So there could be 10 reasons. There could be many reasons not to buy one. But this is my video, so I'm going to say the top 3. Top 5 if I was going to be stretching things. And I wanted to keep this video simple. Again, I'm not into math. Too elaborate of things get me all side yanked. So let's start with number 3. Okay? What do you think it is? Believe it or not, I feel, for me, for the commoner in this world, these computers are still damn fast at 10 years old. A 12-core, or even an 8-core, or even a 6-core, with 2 video cards inside, whether it's the 500 or 700. The 300s are a bit older and lamer and crustier. Well, not older, technically, but they're slower. 500's kind of the minimum happy ground, I think, that people will find with getting a MacPro. And don't call it a trash can. It's a nuclear reactor. That sounds much better. They also do melt down, apparently. But these things are still damn fast. For everyday common use, web browsing, video editing, music production, playing video games, they still have plenty of potential. A lot of people think you have to buy the most recent, brand new thing to have fun. It's not the case. Look around me. Well, you probably don't see that behind me, but I've got so many old computers from the 1970s and 80s. I have more enjoyment from them than any Xbox, than any PS5, than any modern gaming system. Because I'm old. I like using older things. But something about an older device that has more pixelated graphics, that you have to use your imagination, which people are forgetting how to do. Use your imagination. It just brings out so much fun for me. And these computers, the Mac Pro still has a lot of capability. It's still fast for everyday use. It can still play games for those gamers that want to play games. Sure, not as fast as other ones. Yes, there's faster computers, but speed is not everything. Sometimes you just like to make love a little slow. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to do it in 1 minute. It's not pleasurable. Oh my, I knew I was going to go there. Maybe I didn't know I was going to go there, but my mind went there. Anyway, still plenty fast enough. No, it's not fast as a common computer. Sure, the iPad Air can blow it away, but for everyday common use, I call myself a commoner. Just everyday use, it is plenty. That's number 1. Still plenty fast, still fairly capable, and still can do a lot of good things. So speed, fast, it's still good. Number 2. Something I don't know how to do. I'm Portuguese and Italian. I am loud. That's just the way I am. Hetty, how are you doing? Everything, maybe it's because I'm a little deaf. I have a hard time hearing why I yell a lot. But yeah, these things are whisper quiet. So if you live in an environment that you want to have a peaceful office that's quiet, that's just faint little fan noise here and there, not a like my old SideQuest drives on my old Ataris. Those things, those things are loud. You have that going all day, you're going to go loopy. Maybe that's why I'm a little crazy. But yeah, these things are whisper quiet. Between these 2 things, you would think it would be a loud house in here. This thing is whisper quiet. This thing is whisper quiet. The Blackmagic eGPU. These things are very faint in noise, about 15, 20 decibels or whatever. My voice alone is like 80 decibels. So these things are quiet. Beautiful. So if you're a music person that wants to have a peaceful, quiet environment, it's for you. If you just want a peaceful, sitting out in nature, like I have my windows open during the summertime, and I can hear the birds chirping outside, the dogs barking, that's nice. I can hear the outside world. I don't have to hear fans whirring and all this other stuff. We get it. I love the internet, and I love using my computers. But we're so ingrained in these things, you need to peel yourself away. Go outside, smell the roses, get your allergies. I've got a lot of allergy issues. But yeah, being able to have a coexistence between outside, inside, having that peace and quiet is wonderful. And these things are dirt quiet. Now my 12 core, and when I rendered some videos, it kind of gave this, instead of a loud fan noise, it was kind of like a, maybe like a nuclear reactor going up. It kind of gave this working air environment. It was peaceful. It sounded nice, actually, but they did stir up, and that could be a reason why mine blew. Maybe the thermal paste was old and crusty, and that's why mine, towards the end of its life there, and I bought mine used. It was already used and abused. 2020, so it was a 2000. I never found out the serial. I need to figure out which year it was built, but needless to say, it was at least 2013, probably 2014. So, quiet. These things are dirt quiet. If you like that, it's a good computer. Okay, that's number 2. Number 1. My mind went there a few moments ago, and it's going to go there again. I'm going to grab it. This is one of the sexiest damn computers in the world. Look at this thing. It is beautiful. Now, some people think it looks like a trash can. I never looked at that and thought of a bin, a trash pan, whatever you want to call it. A trash can, trash pan, trash can. I never saw it that way. It looks like a nuclear reactor. The second I saw this big hole, and I thought of a nuclear reactor just letting all that heat go out the top. It is it's a blackish color. It's a mirror. You can kind of see reflections off of it. So it is sexy looking. There's something about good looking computers that does me better than anything else. If it's an old beige box, it's pretty damn boring. I like Sinclair computers. Why? Because they're black and they look cool. I do love my beige Ataris, but they're not. Atari beige is a little different than the Commodore beige. Commodore beige was kind of boring. I'm ripping into my Commodore friends out of love. But yeah, the Atari beige was fine, and there's some other beiges that look fine, but something about a black computer makes it think like a Next Cube, a Next Station, the whole Next environment. And I used to have a wonderful 2-dimension card Next Cube at one point that I eventually did sell because it was just taking up too much room in my office. But I love black computers. They're sleek looking. It makes you feel like you've got mission control around you, a workstation that's hardy of doing a lot of work. The MacPro 2013 looks that to me. It looks workstation-y. It looks highly efficient, and it is. It's no slouch. I know some people will say they thermal cored themselves into a dead end, and part of that's probably true. But at the same time, it's still very powerful. It still did a lot of things for its time frame. So it is a wonderful, fast computer that had a lot of uniqueness to it. Could they have made it a little bit slightly bigger and more expandable? Sure. I mean, there's all sorts of things they could have did. But I love the little size of it. I love the quietness of it. And for most people, if you're a professional that does this for a living, sure. You want major expandability. You want it to be upgradable at the click of a button because new software is coming out, new drivers, all that. But for just some schmuck like me that's on the internet, that does video editing and plays the occasional game and wants to do a little, fun and feel good about it and sit down next to this beautiful computer and feel important, like, this is my workstation. I feel good. That's what I feel with this computer, and that's why I bought a second one like a nut. For this price, I could have bought an M1 Mac Mini. Faster, better. But no, I didn't because I want to be happy. I just love using this old stuff. So there's that love into it. So yeah, number 1, you can't beat the sexy. These things look wonderful. And so that's my top 3. Sure, there's probably 4 and 5, and there's probably many reasons not to buy one. If you're not the type to like to upgrade, this thing is end of life. This thing's 10 years old now. And end of 2024, Apple's no longer going to have security patches and all that stuff. So some people, if you want to keep your security, you're going to have to go this open. I'm going to have to explore it. I've never done it before. But open core, and that's going to allow me to go past OS 10 Monterey, go to Sonoma or whatever one I'm going to go to, which will allow security patches to be continued to be done. But Apple's no longer going to be doing it. So you have to rely on this third-party public domain, whatever you want to call it, open core thing that allows an older Mac to upgrade to a newer OS to give it some more years of life. Because in this day and age, you need to have security for the internet, and that's about to come due. So that's probably a negative for some people, but there's our answer for it, and that's open core, and I'm going to just need to learn how to do it, download it, install it, and hopefully this gives my Mac Pro many more years of life. I just bought this, so I want it to last many years. So is that it? I guess so. Okay, so that's my top 3. Fast still, whisper quiet. I don't remember which. I did whisper quiet as the second one. And then sexy. You can't beat the sexy. The whole world lives on the sexy, right? That's just the way it is, folks. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you liked my top 3. And you come back for more videos. There's a lot of videos I'm going to be doing on this. I still need to. I just received this in the last week. And I just connected this for the first time yesterday and made sure they work together, and blown away how much faster frames per second this is when adding it to that. And there's all sorts of other things I'm going to be doing with this setup and making videos for. So join me. Sub to my channel if you like this sort of thing. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. I lied to you all. I could do that. It's my channel. I could do what I want to do. This is the top 4 reasons. So let's move the whisper quiet and fast up or down a notch, because I'm going to make a different number 2. Number 1 is still the sexy. You got to stick with that. But number 4 is going to be the fast. Number 3 is going to be the whisper quiet. Number 2 is this one. The price. The price on these things are so low now. They've really shot down. When I purchased my 12 core 4 years ago, right when the Mac Pro 2019 came out, and they were $5,999, I was considering buying it or buying a Mac Pro 2013. Still, the price was high. $3,000, mid to upper $2,000 range for a 12-core fully packaged out. I got a 12-core D700, 2 terabyte SSD. It was really packed in the original box. So it cost me $3,000 4 years ago. So the price was still high. Today, you can get that same thing for well under $500. I just purchased this one, the 6-core, 32 gig, 256 gig hard drive, and not in an original box or anything. Just it with a power cord, clean as a whistle, very nice condition, for $269 plus tax. Came in just under $300. So price is a big thing. Right now, you can buy an uber sexy computer for $200 to $300 range, depending on how your thoughts are on cosmetics. I like my stuff, the pretties, so I tend to not to like all the scratched up stuff. This one was pretty clean, and that's why I paid what I did. But a brand new unsealed box one that I was watching this last week just went for $450 plus shipping or whatever. It was around a $500 one in original box. They claim they cut the seal, opened it up, and everything's brand new, and they were selling it as an open box. That sold for just under $500, and it was a 12-core D700 model. Wow. So if $500 or below, you can get into a sexy, pretty Mac Pro. So the pricing alone, you can now get a workstation of a computer that was $10,000 back in 2013, 2014 for a fraction of the price. Again, there's some drawbacks. I know you could get something faster for cheaper. The life expectancy of these with Monterey is coming to an end. You're going to have to switch to open core and so on. But if you're willing to take those hurdles, you can have an uber cool workstation of a computer. So price, that's the new number 2, but we're keeping the sexy on the top. Okay? Got it? Good. Thanks for watching. Now, really, goodbye.